in the sense that there was an election conducted and it was annulled because things were not seen to be done right. I think the people that nominated the professors want things to be done right, because all these professors you see on the list are men of integrity in their various schools. And I think Rivers State want to get it right. That's why they brought a lot of professors on board. So it's not a disservice, because we are serving our state and our nation. Then the first question now. The punishment that could be given to people without integrity, right? Whether the punishment given to defaulters counts, that's the question. Please let me get you.
Sorry, my question is in two folds. I asked the job you're asking for. I want you to be able to defend or to tell us whether those things actually count. And if they do, and one or someone is found wanting, if they really count, what should then be? What would you recommend that should be the punishment for such a person being in that position you are craving for, if you are found appointed?
Well, let me start. For those who default, who did not do what they're supposed to do in an election, the court is there to determine what punishment should be meted to such person. And then, talking about integrity, for some of us to have risen to the point of a professor, the rank of a professor, without even a query one day in our place of work, that is part of the definition of integrity. I have never been found wanting anywhere I have worked, and even in the university. And even on this new job, I will make sure that what ought to be done will be done. That's what I stand for. And that's what I represent on this board. Thank you.
But your sweepy generalization created a problem for me. When you make the general assumption that once you are a professor, it's a mark of integrity. That is not true. Some professors are in prison, not only in Nigeria, elsewhere in the world. To be a professor is not a statement of character. With respect, I put that to you. Nothing to do with you now, because before you get to a professor. That is not true. And the issue raised by my distinguished brother is simply that if there is a place where we need men and women of character, is in the university system, where you are supposed to produce students who are found worthy, quote, in character and learning. And they can only be found wanting in character if professors of character are part of those who are involved in the process of imparting knowledge. I just don't want you to get away with the assumption, because I noticed you insisted that they didn't put professor before your name. And I told my colleague here, professor is not a name. Indeed, in some jurisdictions where ethics are strong, once you stop teaching, you no longer have to brag your professorial thing around. To say a professor is to say that you are teaching and you are researching. And General, sir, you know one General Powell who commanded the U.S. Armed Forces to invade Iraq. Once he retired from the army as the Chief of General Staff of the U.S. Armed Forces, and he became a civilian, he was appointed Secretary of State. He was always referred to as Mr. Powell. So if you are no longer teaching, because part of the problem of Nigeria, if you are no longer teaching, don't carry your professorial signboard on your forehead. But this has nothing to do with your competence or the job. I have no doubt. I'm not questioning your character. But don't make assumption that once you are a professor, it's a statement of integrity. It is not.
I don't think I need to bring you back to the microphone. It was a comment. It was not a question, so you don't need to respond. But your observation is well noted, and the Secretariat is directed to act in that regard. We'll take it as the second omission. A distinguished lady was presented to us as a Mr., and in the presence of everybody, we corrected that S be added to the Mr. To make sure she's a Mrs. properly. And I've also taken a look at a copy of the CV you submitted, and I believe that was also the CV you submitted for the purpose of this appointment. So to the extent that you were appointed a professor and you are still teaching, using the standard of distinguished Senator Oshiomhole, the Secretariat would do the needful by putting your proper title. It doesn't stop you from being a minister, but your title is a professor because you attained that. So we'll go to the next person. I'm calling N. Chuemere, JP. You can replace seat with him.